Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loimacito is the best.
I thought I'd just share with you, a few global headlines that I thought were very intriguing, interesting, or whatever. The first one is this cryptocurrency in Turkey, which the guy, it seems, apparently ran away, and now more than 300,000 investors have lost billions. Now, I'll give my thoughts on that. Then Caitlyn Jenner, that guy who wants to be a girl, at the age of 70, he or she, I don't know, what do you call it, wants to stand for, office, for politics. India's social media scene, what people are exchanging. And finally, some UAE updates. So I'll give you all this in this video. Okay, the first one is this cryptocurrency update. Now, this guy running away with the money, I mean, I don't know why people are surprised, or I don't know why people should be shocked. This is bound to happen when in markets that are not regulated. People will cheat you, and when you're talking of billions, you cannot stop. You cannot stop being scammed. Like, say, Bitcoin. Let's say you have a problem with Bitcoin. Who do you go to? You have a problem with Dogecoin or Ethereum. What? Ethereum. Who do you go to? If you forgot your password, or someone hacked into your wallet, how do you get it back? Gone, right? So these are unregulated markets. People get into it to become rich. Like, I watched a small mini documentary yesterday. This guy Beeple, who sold his art to Metacoven for 62 million or whatever. Beeple, to generate interest, gave some of his art for NFTs for $1. And one Instagram girl, she scooped up this NFT for $1, and immediately after scooping up, she got an offer for $50,000. Give me that. And she said no. So these NFTs, these cryptos, are nothing but people's hopes to become rich fast. Why do you think people are investing in cryptos? Because the hope that when it reaches its peak, they become multimillionaires. Like Bitcoin. What is driving Bitcoin up? Anyway, it's come down to 50,000 or something right now. Because I check the graphs. I speak to people who have invested in Bitcoin. The elusive goal is one Bitcoin will be $1 million. That is what they are hoping for. So these people who have paid $100 and got into Bitcoin, a few cents, why they're holding on to this Bitcoin? Because in 2027, I think around that date, when the last Bitcoin will be mined, the hope is one Bitcoin will be $1 million. That's why people are holding on to it. Just imagine you have 10 Bitcoins and you hold on to it. You become $10 million rich. So that kind of return, who can give you? But then again, the only problem here is, this is speculation. Just like Elon Musk will build a colony on Mars. Speculation. Elon Musk will have an underground tunnel and transportation will be fast. It's speculation, not been done. Elon Musk will come with a hyperloop where you can go from one place to another in few minutes instead of hours and hours. That's again speculation. He will have a city where everything is solar and wind turbine and water, clean fuel. Speculation. So right now, all the money that is being pumped into various schemes, or people are investing is based on hype and speculation for the future, which nobody knows. So it is good to be optimistic about the future. That is why we study. That's why we apply for degrees. That is why we get even into a marriage, have children, because we speculate, we have hopes for a better future. But the chances of it actually coming to fruition is 50-50, either yes or no, either wrong or right. Okay, and as time passes by, you can be certain, instead of 50-50, you can be 80-20, 90-10, either on the positive or negative. You can be very sure. Okay, so that is what is happening with cryptos or property or stocks or whatever. However, the problem here is we all do whatever we do out of a positive hope. Nobody does it with a negative hope. So when negative happens or when shit happens, the people who invested with a positive hope, they get fucked. Okay, people who get divorced, they have to pay the amount, the alimony or the thing, destroys them. People who invest in a business and they end up getting cheated or the business flops, they end up not in zero, they end up in minus. People have invested into whatever, and like I said, it gets stolen or run away. You lose everything. So nobody plans for the worst. So with regards to Bitcoin, Dogecoin or any of these coins or cryptos, this is the risk these people are willing to take. Now, will I be gloating, Bitcoin went from 50,000 to 20,000? No, I'll not be, because the investors would be very happy that it has gone down, because now they'll start buying for cheap, those who are willing to sell. So they'll buy, hoping that I bought it for 10,000 or I bought it for 5,000. Now when it's down, now very soon it'll climb to 50,000, because the next big milestone will be $100,000, one Bitcoin. So Bitcoin people, it's no point talking. They're just going to have their hopes and dreams. It's like someone who's in love or someone who believes in his religion. No matter what you tell them, they're not going to change. Okay? So that's Bitcoin. The second part is, this what? Caitlyn Jenner, whatever her name is. Now, what is the story there? This guy who had gender dysmorphia, who doesn't know he's a guy or girl, even though he's a guy, great Olympian, became a girl and started wearing sexy girl outfits and putting hair and looking, I feel so sexy, wow. Okay, some people are into it. And he came out with that series that bombed. Oh, the camera was panning and he was moving like this and wind is blowing. Okay, whatever. And he got the Woman of the Year award, which I never understood. Person of the Year and all that stuff. And then the bombshell when where he said that a male and female, male and male or female and female should not get married or something like that. Finished. All support went away. So now this guy at 72 with gender dysmorphia and who is dating a guy who's now become a girl, or a girl who's become a guy, I don't know, it's so confusing. He was a guy, he became a girl, and I think the girl became a guy or guy became a girl or whatever. He's dating this other person. Now he has decided at 72 to run for office. He wants to be a Republican candidate and he has put in his papers. So what do I think about it? I would just say at least at 72 the guy is doing something. I mean, most of us at 72 will be just relaxing and retiring. I guess he has some energy and stamina and he wants to do something with his life. Good for him. Now they are also calling, actually I wrote down the name because I don't know. It's in California, this, what is the name? This person's name is Gary Newsom or something. So this governor, many people want him out because he has asked for a total lockdown for their health. So many businesses have gone bust. So they are saying that this person should be thrown out of office and replaced. The last time it happened, what was the date? 2003, when Gary Davis was replaced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think these Americans, they go crazy for people with celebrity status. They want someone popular who they see in the movies and someone famous who will give them big promises. Arnold's role as a governor was, I don't know if it was great or whatever, but I heard later on, people got fed up and tired of him. And anyway, he had achieved whatever he wanted to and he got out. Made his money, I guess. So overall, what I feel of Kathleen Jenner, good for you, man. It's nothing but commendable that at 70, instead of staying quiet and enjoying your retired life, you still want to do big things. So if the people vote for you, well, you're in the right target market. But if you don't, well, then at least you tried. So I have to appreciate that fact. Okay, now next one. What is the next one that I wanted to speak to you about? Oh yeah, India, and finally about UAE. India, the social media. Right now, because of my WhatsApp groups, the people are literally having a bloody food fight. Food fight is where you verbally give each other. People are saying, because of Modi, India is destroyed. And then people are, what the fuck are you talking about? It is only in Delhi. Oh, it's only in Maharashtra, Mumbai. Oh, this governor, this minister of that place, he fucked up. Why are you blaming our leader? People are still fucking fighting. People are still arguing. Instead of thinking that, what's the point? Why are you trying to say, I'm right or you're right? Just look at the videos. People dying, people crying, people watching their loved ones die in front of their eyes. No oxygen, no nothing. Instead of that, still arguing and fighting and shouting and screaming. I mean, what can you say? This is the state of affairs of our people. That in everything, they have to bring their political views. Oh, I'm right, you're wrong. Now they are forwarding videos of ministers who, like that Kejriwal chap from Delhi. Before he said, there were enough oxygen tanks. Now he's saying, no, we need oxygen. There were enough beds, he said before. Now he says, we need beds. We are fully prepared. Now he says, no, we're not. Well, he's a human being. He has made mistakes. He assumed when things are good, it's going to remain this way. He never thought the entire country is going to collapse. And then you have the Prime Minister Modi. He has his agenda. And obviously, end of the day, he being the leader of the country, he has to sort out the mess. He can't just ignore and say, oh no, this is not my state. But bottom line, what I want to tell you is, if you're an Indian, stop this nonsense of food fights and blames. Focus on either how you can help someone, if you can, which I don't think you can, and even if you can, you won't. And instead of getting on a political rant, can't you do something constructive? Yes, share your views. I'm not saying don't share your views, but stop getting into fights and arguments for hours and hours. Literally, people, sometimes I get around 700, 800 messages just arguing with this for 1 to sometimes even 3 hours, non-stop. Tell me, how does that help the country or anyone? Anyway, this is a condition of India, and like they said, it's only going to get better after it gets the worst. So the worst is yet to come. And last but not the least, about final update about UAE. Just 2 days ago, I spoke to a guy. He called me from a local Thai number. So I thought it was a delivery or something. I picked it up. So this guy, he tells me he's from Dubai. I was like, oh, that's nice. Okay. And then he tells me he has been in Dubai for, like me, 30, 40 years. Like, oh, that's really great. So I decided I'll talk to him. Feels good. So we are speaking to each other on video. And long story short, he got so inspired by me that I'm an Indian passport holder and I'm in Thailand. He decided to come to Thailand and search for a job. He actually made the trip to search for a job. I asked him, listen, why couldn't you at least send me a message saying, I want to come to Thailand for a job? I told you, don't come. He didn't say anything. I said, what made you come here? No, I just thought there would be a demand because now Westerners can't travel, so we can travel. So, you know what they say about assumptions, no? As, you, me, assume, assumptions. See, wherever you are, whether you're in India, whether you're in Pakistan, whether you're in Dubai, unless your condition is like Syria, which is war torn, complete war, unless the situation is like that, don't expect some magic in some other country. There are so many people who send me messages, Loy, I want to go to Canada. Loy, I want to go to the West. I want to go Australia, USA. Loy, I want to come to Dubai. I want to go to Thailand. And I ask them, okay, what is your profile? What do you do? How much money do you have in the bank? And then I tell them, what makes you think the situation will be different? No, I feel. Yeah, you feel. Yeah, I checked online. Yeah, sure. Google.com gives you all the answers. See, the grass always, like they say, green on the other side, no? We feel, oh, there, life is easy. Here, life is tough. The thing is, after you go there, you're like, fuck, man, it's not that easy. This is what is happening now with people. So I just wanted to tell you, please, my request to you, please don't take any decision or any action by assuming things. Please don't go to google.com to find answers. Please don't go to the cheapest alternative to get an answer and then literally put your life savings, put your career, put your life on the line and take a life-changing decision assuming that would be the answer. No, you're jumping from frying pan to fire and you'll burn. Now this guy, obviously he has to go back. He came here hoping, so he has to go back, and now he'll go back and do what? I don't know. In fact, he reminded me of this Sri Lankan couple in Dubai. They had asked me what is my charges to get my advice. They wanted to come to Thailand and set up a business. I gave them my charges. They said, oh, this is so expensive. They're saying, and then the wife was saying, you know, I can get all this information through Google. I said, then get it through Google, don't ask me. And I said, you will regret coming to Thailand. She said, okay, fine, we'll see. She was one of those feisty who said, oh yeah, I'll show you, okay, that kind of thing. She even had the audacity after a few months to literally send me a message. The reason I remember this is because of this message. She sent me a message saying, just to inform you, we have successfully come to Thailand without your help and we have started a new business. I said, oh, okay. I said, all the best. Saying, just to let you know, we didn't need your advice. Okay. Well, after I think 8 months or 10 months, whatever, they shut down their business and they left. How I know this? Same thing. Wife got into some trouble and didn't know who to ask. Send me a message. I responded same way. Just send my charges. But this time, double the charges because she acted like a bitch. Imagine, husband and wife both left their jobs, both took all their savings, both invested in a business, took their children, completely overhauled, took a new chapter in their life only to lose it all. Who do you blame? So all I want to tell you through this video is, please, free information is not one size fits all and gives you the answer. Google.com doesn't just gives you an answer. You can ask the wrong question. For that also, it'll give you the answer you like. In fact, you can search for what kind of answer you want, you'll get. Please don't make life-changing decisions with all this. From marriage to everything else. Don't look at just one video of mine. Oh, good. Loy said exactly what I want to hear. I'll do it. It doesn't work that way. Every person is different. Every situation is different. Every individual is different. Everything is different. There's never one size fits all. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Windy. Good. Little cool. But not good for the mic. Let me know your thoughts. Okay? This is me signing off. So any updates, anything, just send it across to me. I'll analyze and give you my thoughts and perspective. You guys take care. This is me signing off. Ciao.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.